And focus your mind to this bell sound. So while you focusing to sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with thoughts. And if it is possible, gently close your eyes and follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So dear Dhamma friends, before we start our practice, I will explain a little bit how we're going to do this meditation. So mainly here we practice two mental cultures. One is called Samatha mental culture, another one called Vipassana mental culture. So in Samatha meditation, mainly our purpose is to bring our mind to calmness and develop the tranquility state and keep it in one point. And because the very behavior of mind, we used to go here and there, always think, pondering to outside world. From childhood, we develop that kind of nature. Another thing is from culture, tradition, our environment, always push us to think regarding this outside world. And because of that, now we have a pattern always to think. So, but when it comes to meditation, especially when it tranquility meditation, the very first thing that you have to do, stay with the primary mental object and not to struggle with your mind, not to fight or not to try to hold your mind. Because the very nature of the mind has no structure. So whatever available in the moment, the mind go with it. So mind has no form. Mind doesn't have any permanent entity. So good thing is, in this very moment, if you become careful and mindful, and you can bring that mind to calmness. So whatever the attention you bring in this very moment, the mind start to go with it. So when you don't have any kind of attention or intention, what happens? Mind is start to follow the previous pattern. If something not available in the moment, it go with the whatever available. So tranquility meditation is, we mainly give a mental object to follow. So that's become our primary mental object. Because mind always need the object for a certain time period. So here, as primary mental object, we bring our inhalation and exhalation. It is available for you 24/7 and it is free. And anywhere, anytime you can have access to that. Another thing is the self-experience. There is no doubt going to happen. It becomes very clear for you, and that clarity brings the confidence to yourself. It is not kind of like a visualization or dreaming or thinking something. Another thing is the breathing is the most important thing happen in our life, and that is the most deeply connecting to our life as the foundation of the life. So observing inhalation, exhalation brings you more connection and the comfort and confidence. Another thing is for your mind, for your brain, even for your entire nerve system. The breathing is the only one language can understand. So when you're able to observe the inhalation, exhalation, your mind, your body start to settle down very easily with it. Because natural inherent connection is there. So then yourself keep focus your mind in front of your nose and your upper lip area, this area, and allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. There are few things as principles you have to remember. One is don't interfere with the natural process of the inhalation, exhalation. And don't try to hold or don't try to exercise with the inhalation, exhalation. And don't count. And also don't think this I inhale, I exhale. So just allow it to happen naturally and observe that natural process. So in the beginning, observe inhalation as inhalation, exhalation as exhalation separately. From there, the very nature of the mind, very easily it get used to things, settle down. So once the mind get used to observe the inhalation, exhalation separately, maybe it become a pattern. So just make it kind of like a pattern, start to bring your awareness more sharp and clear and observe a little bit deeply. And now follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Observe entire breath body. Here, the breath body means one inhalation or one exhalation completely from beginning to end. Just observe it, follow it. And when you follow it, little by little, that also become more familiar. So from there, some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. This is the very nature and behavior of the inhalation, exhalation. This all details is there. But we didn't see, we didn't look. That's why we don't see it. So now when you look, you start to recognize. So it is not something new. Only thing is, maybe this is the first time you're going to see it, but it was there. So just observe the very behavior of the inhalation, exhalation, and recognize each and every inhalation, exhalation has its own way. And when the mind deeply settles down, your body, your breathing, your mind and thought start to work as one. So from there, slowly we go to Vipassana level of practice. In the Vipassana level, you don't come to a primary mental object. You don't keep. Your mind completely become free from all the mental objects and methods and the patterns. You just completely be relaxed and just observe. So today we're going to observe the thoughts. Chittanupassana, contemplating the thoughts. So when it comes to thoughts, so whatever thoughts available, whatever thoughts there are, whatever thoughts arise, just recognize and don't go with that thoughts, don't add any other thoughts, don't interfere with that thoughts, and don't comment on that thoughts. Just simply see and recognize. That's enough. And when that thought disappears, another thought will be there. Just see it. It is not in order. So different. Disorder is the very behavior of the thoughts. So just recognize whatever thoughts available. Just see it, recognize. Don't try to react to that any thoughts, or don't think over. Don't ponder over. Don't go with it. And don't repeat, or reverse the thoughts. So whatever disappear, that's in. So the next thing. So like that, thoughts by thought, thought by thought. And sometimes sound come, smell arise, and sensation arise. Maybe thought arise with that also. Just recognize it and then see what is the next one. So like that, without reacting, to observe thoughts, and then you will see this thought arise without any intention in the surface level. And sometimes without any invitation, without any request, this thought itself go away without any effort. Just see that arising and existence, arising and existence, and things always change. See how the thoughts change inside your mind itself. So let's practice little bit. And your right palm on your left, and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also, think for a moment. This is the last moment we are spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories, and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and then slowly get into the thoughts and observe the thoughts. Bring your attention to the lower part of your body and observe the sensation, heaviness, tightness, heat, whatever the feelings they are. Just recognize and get a mental note. And your lower back. In your upper back and shoulders. in your arms, elbow, forearms, palms, fingers, fingertips. And observe your chest and your abdominal area. And your neck and head. And observe your whole body. And bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathing, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. And when the inhalation, exhalation happens, just recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Do nothing extra. And follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just accept it and recognize. Bring your attention to your thoughts without reacting. Just keep observe the thoughts. Bring attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, around this world and universe. And as far as we can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. Mentally repeat after me with clear intention. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion, beginning from your heart, forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun. Spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, our very nature of this mind always pondering, investigating the outside worlds. So in our brain, this all the neurons and wiring and firing always with the collecting informations and gathering informations and analyzing informations. And that because of this, that nature, the mind always in heat, fire, working. We are so busy with this outside information. But when it comes to life, is that the meaning of life? Just collecting information and gathering information and analyzing and go with that information? Or is there something else? Especially when it comes to the brain, even though that we are go with this outside information always, the brain has a capacity or the mind has a capacity to look inward rather than go outside or outward. It has a capacity to look inward. So meditation is a method rather than pondering to outside, gathering information from outside, collecting information from outside, go with the information behind this outside, analyzing the information we gain from outside. We observe the moment of this experience that happening itself within ourselves. So whatever come to us, and even in this very moment, the very being itself, yourself, if you able to observe and just be with that moment, and there is something deeply going to change inside you. And that all the cells, neutron, electron, proton, this entire nerve system, and going to settle down in one place. What is that place? Its own place. So otherwise it's always keep following, keep following, keep following. But when it comes to the tranquility meditation, in the very first thing, you settle down everything to be in that very place. Even the brain, that it's kind of like a wildfire, and always wiring and firing with the information, go with that. But when it comes to meditation, it settles down, that wiring and firing, keep the connection in between that own neurons. It's not pondering to outside, it's not looking for something from outside. And that it itself brings the calmness. So when it comes to life, we mostly dealing with this outside world we experience as life. And that's why inventing, engineering, these things, imagination, these things come to our life. We are always in a kind of like an imaginary world. We are always imagine. And then what we does, whatever we imagine, we engineering it. So, but in life, there is moment that you can experience without imagine yourself. So that is what through the meditation you can achieve. So sometimes people don't know beyond the imagination. They don't know about the life. And people don't understand without engineering this world. People cannot just see one, even the tree, and look itself and observe and see the very being of the tree. People now know capacity just to see an animal and experience themselves just being that animal itself. Even ourselves, just sitting for a moment, or even that whatever you're doing, even you eating, you just drinking glass of water, lying down yourself, just breathing yourself a little bit, just being in that moment is a different art. So when you're able to use that your whole mental, physical energy to experience that moment itself, it become kind of like a meditation. Because the meditation itself trying to develop, we call it mental culture. And it should develop your mind in a profitable way. So if you're able to look yourself and look inside, even the others, because when you able to look inside you, you allow others to do so. So otherwise we always dealing with and overtaking and maintaining and interfering to others. See, the people cannot stay without interfering to things. Even they want to touch something. Why you have to touch it? Just let it be. Even you sit on a chair, why you have to touch the chair? You just sit there. And you drink glass of water. So why you keep touching the glass? Just you drink the water, just leave the glass. So like that, even you watching TV, sometimes you press the remote and you just press the button. But you hold the remote and you don't know, unconsciously sometimes you keep touching it. Why you do so? Because you always ponder to something. You always look connection to something. And that is how our life happened so far in this journey. That's how our culture, tradition, environment, nations, they taught us. The school, they taught us. Always towards something, towards something. We go towards something, finally, we miss ourselves. We don't understand who we are. And sometimes people become engineers and they have top class degrees and chairman, and they become president, and they become kind of like the well successful people through education, but they don't understand who they are. What's the point? Because the path of the wisdom, the main thing is self-realization, recognizing first level who you are. So without observing yourself, without giving some time to yourself, without seeing yourself, how are you going to understand it? By reading book, by listening to others, by whatever other people say, following that. going to always psychologists, psychotherapists. You cannot get that way your life. When you have a problem, if you get the advice from somebody, remember, you fail because someone else really cannot give advice to you. That is the true nature. Conventionally, we just get some information, but finally you have to remember that all this mostly the situations arise in us. There is a very reason within ourselves only we can analyze that. This other people cannot give guidance or medicine for that. But conventional life, there are certain ways that we follow the common sense for this conventional life. But when it comes to spiritual life or this vipassana level and this that development of your wisdom path, in that moment, so others' advice doesn't work. So then yourself observing a little bit and seeing inside is the method that going to develop you to get into that understanding. So rather than investigating outside and pondering your mind to outside, looking for outside, waiting for outside, just have few minutes every day. Settle down, completely be totally silent. Don't get into inner conversation, collaboration. Get out of it. Just simply sit down and allow everything to settle down and experience just very being yourself. And even something, whatever in front of you, without disturbing to its nature, and observe it as it is. And even when you look at the tree, nowadays people cannot see like that. People get depressed just looking at the tree, looking at the flowers, birds. Sometimes people get depressed, and other thing is they want to jump into it. See that sometimes very behavior, you watching the birds and then suddenly you try to jump it and catch it. You're watching a flower and you don't know, unconsciously you already break the flower. And if somebody asks why you do that, no, I like it. So that's what. So then remember in life that the very life means not dealing with outside. So then yourself every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, spend yourself, invest yourself to settle down and completely, deeply experience the very being that yourself, and watch outside and watch that how that other people or the children or the old people and even the things, material things. And that's why sometimes people, when they get depressed, anxiety, they watch fish and elephants, so like that. Because it's kind of trying to allow you to settle down a little bit. So why you have to wait till you get depressed just to see and bring a fish tank to your house? So everywhere you did things that have the life. Have you see the life that happening in a tree, the beauty that happening in a tree? But because we are so busy with this, all the imagination, engineering, that these machines and technology, but we losing that natural well-being, that very being itself, and the art of that life that happening everywhere. We miss that. Even within yourself, when you inhale, exhale, just completely experience how this life happening itself. See that you are busy with so many things, but deeply your life have the connection with only the inhalation, exhalation. When you are not breathing, forget about this all. You go on. So have you ever give some times and experience it? You are so busy with working and going here and there, office work, other work. But as a ordinary person, just life. And we have many ideas about creation, you know. But ourselves, if we don't understand the very being itself, if you cannot recognize that, your life in this very moment, if you cannot feel or recognize, how you can understand what is this evolution, or what is this, that the history of the humanity, or what about the future? If you cannot observe just a tree for a moment and recognize what is this, how you going to control this entire country? How you can advise for the entire country as a leader if you don't understand what is happening within your own life? So where you get the wisdom, where you get the knowledge? By reading book, you cannot control, lead the country. There should be something that understand yourself. Even parenting. By reading books, you cannot do the parenting. There should be something come as parent. There should be something in you, in your deeper, in your heart, to connect it to children. When you have that connection, you don't go with any theory or any methods or any books or any advice even others gave. Because that feeling, that connection itself giving you kind of like understanding each other. Then you go with that. And I have seen sometimes the doctors giving, different things to give it to children. But when it comes to parents and they know, oh, this doesn't work. And they go with the deeper understanding with the child. But today, we even ourselves, we losing that. So remember, in the meditation, in a deeper level, it is not you just practice 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or you practice a technique and then you say you practice meditation. No, what I'm trying to tell you, there is a deeper connection that inside you. It's the very first thing that you have to settle down with that. Your brain, your neurons, this always wiring and firing to outside. There is no limit to entire universe. See, people how imagine and trying to conquer this entire universe. But deeper, they lose, they don't see the inside them, because mind is ponder to outside. But start to bring it back to inside you and see what is happening here. And as a moment, what you experience, what you experience as life, and settle down with it. And there is a moment come, if your entire, all the muscles, nerves, all the atoms, electron, neutron, proton, if everything settle down in that own place, in that very moment, there is a deeper connection start to arise with this entire body. That connection is open the door to understand this entire universe. That understanding is not like go with the imagination, theory, or engineering, or like that way. It's more deeper and accurate. So that is what you need as a human being. You are the only that can apply that, and you are the only one capable for that. So just experience it. Why you always try to understand something by word? Why you always try to understand something by somebody's advice? Why always you try to understand something by history? Is there any moment that by just yourself can recognize something? What is that? Why you always waiting for the monks or the priest or the any kind of spiritual leaders to tell about the spirituality, or the being kind of like looking for wisdom or something like that? So then you become kind of like a puppet, you become kind of like a debtor. You always depending from others' words. So the inner wisdom or the vipassana is not like that. The vipassana is the method. You completely come to a point yourself without depending from any knowledge or any wisdom or any book. Just by yourself, you observe and you see. So when you hear this, the very first thing come to your mind sometimes, oh, but we need somebody to guide us. That is what happened through entire the history, brainwash. That's why people, when you come as a human being, you are capable to understand yourself. But when it comes to this human world, that other whoever elders here tell, okay, now you have to do this, now you have to do this, you have to follow this. Now you go with that. But you really never understand. You are a human being. What does that mean? Do you come to this world to study, work for somebody and follow someone else's ideas, or whoever written down this everything in book and you have to go with that? That's why you come here. Is there anything else that you can't find here? If children ask from you, mother, father, what is life? Is there anything that you can give by yourself without getting from any book or without getting anything from anyone's lecture? Really within deeper yourself, is there anything that you can give to your children? My daughter, my son, this is what life. Is there anything? There is something. Only thing you have to look for that. Then you will see. So meditation is the method that you go into that. You experience it. It's not just few minutes you close your eyes and observe in breathing. Till you die, you can observe breathing. Nothing going to happen. And when you come back again, you start, the first thing you start, inhalation, exhalation. You can observe it till you die. Even eons, you can observe inhalation, exhalation. Nothing going to happen. So then what? And deeply observing and recognizing. It is only in the moment you can do. Observing and recognition never going to take you to a habit. It never going to create a pattern. It never going to create a mechanism or machine. You're not going to become a machine when you observe and recognize it. You are always become present and living being. But when you become a machine, when you repeat, you are living, you are being, but you are not living in the moment. You are function, but that the living, you are just mechanism. You kind of like a robot. You just repeat things. But in this very moment as living what you experience. So this experience with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, without going to past or without depending from the future, in this very moment what you experience is the real living. So in that experience, you will you will get into the highest level of this human mind. So by force, you cannot do it. Just little by little, go into yourself, going deeper to yourself and observing yourself, settling down yourself, you can understand it. So try that little bit. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata ca ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuccatu. Bless you.